Starlight Keep HFY presents Earth 101, How Not to Die on the Blue Marble. Chapter 8, Reflections. The soft luminescence of the eldritch library began to fade as the artificial twilight of Starlight Keep signaled the end of another day. Seraphine Moonshadow gathered her holographic notes, the day's lessons still echoing in her mind. The corridors were quiet, punctuated only by the distant hum of the station's engines and the occasional whisper of passing crew members. As she made her way to her quarters, Seraphine couldn't help but replay the day's discussions. The bewildered expressions of her students, the skeptical yet curious gaze of Zarkon, and the earnest questions from Quillen all painted a vivid tapestry of interstellar intrigue. Humanity was, without a doubt, a species that defied simple categorization. She reached her door, the panel recognizing her touch and sliding open silently. Warm light greeted her, along with the enticing aroma of something distinctly Earth-like. Seraphine raised an eyebrow, a hint of a smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "You're back later than usual," came a familiar voice. Stepping inside, she found Captain Jonathan Jack Mitchell, a human envoy and her longtime colleague, deftly maneuvering around the compact kitchen area. His easy grin and sparkling eyes exuded a charm that Seraphine had come to appreciate, and at times find exasperating. "Jack," she acknowledged, her tone a blend of surprise and mild reproach. "What are you doing in my quarters?" He feigned offense, placing a hand over his heart. "Is that any way to greet someone who's just prepared you a gourmet meal?" He gestured to the dining nook, where two places were set with steaming dishes. She tilted her head, her midnight blue hair cascading over one shoulder like a waterfall of starlight. "And what, pray tell, have you concocted this time?" "An old family recipe," he declared proudly. "Spaghetti bolognese. Well, as close as I could get with the ingredients available on this side of the galaxy." Seraphine approached the table, the rich scent of herbs and spices stirring a rumble in her stomach she hadn't realized was there. "You didn't have to go to such trouble." He pulled out a chair for her with a flourish. "Consider it a token of appreciation for enlightening countless minds about the wonders and perils of humanity." She sat gracefully, smoothing her robes. "Flattery will get you nowhere, Captain." He took the seat opposite her, undeterred. "Oh, I don't know about that. You've tolerated me this long." She allowed a small smile. "Tolerated is the operative word." They began to eat, the flavors bursting with a warmth that contrasted the cool, sterile environment of the station. For a few moments, silence settled between them, a comfortable pause amid the constant motion of their lives. "So," Jack ventured between bites, "what was today's lesson about? Terrify any more students with tales of our recklessness?" Seraphine sighed softly, though amusement danced in her eyes. "I merely conveyed the facts. If your species insists on engaging in perilous activities, it's my duty to inform others." He chuckled. "You make us sound like a hazard to galactic safety." "Are you suggesting you're not?" she countered, one elegant eyebrow arched. "Point taken," he conceded with a grin. "But you have to admit, our unpredictability keeps things interesting. That's one way to describe it." They continued their meal, the conversation weaving between light-hearted banter and thoughtful reflection. Eventually, Jack leaned back, his expression turning more earnest. "Honestly, Seraphine," he began, "do you really find us that perplexing?" She regarded him thoughtfully. "Perplexing, yes, frustrating, often, but also intriguing. Intriguing enough to consider us friends." She met his gaze, the depth of her silver eyes reflecting the myriad stars beyond. "Despite my better judgment, I believe I do." He raised his glass in a mock toast, "To being inexplicably tolerable." She clinked her glass lightly against his, "To tolerating the inexplicable." A comfortable silence enveloped them once more. Seraphine felt a subtle shift within herself, a softening of the guarded demeanor she typically maintained. "There's something about humans," she admitted quietly, almost to herself. "A resilience, a spirit that refuses to yield, no matter the odds. Jack smiled gently. We've had our fair share of challenges. It's in our nature to face them head-on. That much is evident, she replied, a hint of wryness in her tone. But it's more than just stubbornness. There's a capacity for hope, for connection, that is remarkable. He regarded her with a warmth that reached his eyes. Coming from you, that's high praise. Don't let it inflate your ego, she retorted lightly. It's already dangerously large. He laughed, a genuine, hearty sound that seemed to fill the room. I'll try to keep it in check. They cleared the table together, the mundane task made pleasant by shared company. As they finished, an alert chimed softly from Seraphine's communicator. Back to the grind? Jack inquired. She glanced at the message, a reminder of an upcoming council meeting. It appears duty calls. He nodded, a glint of understanding in his eyes. Same here. The perils of interstellar diplomacy wait for no one. They moved toward the door, pausing in the threshold. Jack, she began, hesitating for just a moment. Thank you for dinner. It was unexpectedly enjoyable. He gave a modest shrug. Anytime you need a taste of Earth, or just someone to annoy you, you know where to find me. I'll keep that in mind, she replied, her lips curving into a genuine smile. As he turned to leave, he looked back over his shoulder. Oh, and Seraphine? Yes? Next time, you can tell your students that not all humans wrestle bears or jump off cliffs. Some of us prefer the quieter adventures. She tilted her head thoughtfully. I'll be sure to include that in my next lecture. With a final shared glance, they parted ways, each heading toward their respective responsibilities. As Seraphine made her way through the winding corridors of Starlight Keep, she reflected on the evening. Humans were, without doubt, a species of paradoxes, capable of great recklessness and profound wisdom, fierce in battle yet gentle in moments of peace. Perhaps that was what made them so uniquely compelling. Reaching the council chambers, she squared her shoulders, her diplomatic composure settling over her like a familiar cloak. Yet beneath it all, a small ember of warmth remained, a reminder of the unexpected connections that could bridge even the vastness of space. Maybe, she mused silently, humans aren't so bad after all. The end.
Thank you for listening to this audiobook. We create stories for you to enjoy here for free. So be a kind, gentle human, and like and subscribe to not miss a single upload. Please consider joining the channel for exclusive content, and we hope you join us again in the next audiobook.